Well, Gary, must be quite unique for a Football League team to be playing an international team at their home ground. Have you ever heard of it happening before?
I'm not sure. I'm sure it's happened before. In fact, it happened with Latvia and me before, because while I was national coach, I brought the Latvian team over to play Sheffield United a few years ago. I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a bit longer, and we won 1-0, and it was a good evening that evening. So maybe it's just me and the Latvians that have had this experience, and it was a good day, and the kids enjoyed it, families enjoyed it. You know, it is something different, and you know, to get any international team to your humble little ground is a big thing. I think it is anyway, because when else would you see the Latvian national team and be able to assess them and judge them?
Well, certainly not in the flesh. You wouldn't, would you? You know,
No.
I mean, and they're coming straight over from Dublin, I presume, is it?
Yeah, they've got a game against the Republic of Ireland on the Friday, which is live on the TV, I think, on Sky. So that'd be good. You'd be able to assess. You know, it's good scouting for us. And you know, and then they come over here, and you know, I am very close to the Latvian Football Federation and the people that run it, and obviously the manager Marian Pahars and assistant Vitalis Astafias, and it's always good to keep in touch with them, because there could be another Marians or Vitalis in their squad, and it'd be good to, you know, see them early and put your name down for a few of their players, if you think that they're better than what you got. And how best to know than to have them competing against what you got in a game. And what was it again?
Askonto Riga, still the top team in Latvia.
I think they always used to be, but I think the standard is getting a lot closer now with all the other teams. You know, they're getting quite a few foreigners now, and the other clubs have realised to compete with Skonto Riga that they've got to get in players from abroad, because generally Skonto Riga get the better Latvians. So now the other teams have gone just slightly more outside of Latvia to get players, and it's become a lot closer now, the league, and now there's 4 or 5 teams that can win it in any season, as opposed to just the one. So because there's a big prize at the end of it. It's obviously got, you know, it's Champions League for the winners, and UEFA Cup for the ones who come second.
And I mean, when we went to Latvia all those years ago, Ventspils was certainly one of the. I think they were possibly the second best. And was it Alda we played? I can't remember the name now. Is it Alda? Are they sort of still?
Yeah,
up
no,
there?
they're all still there or thereabouts, and certainly Ventspils, who's another. It's all the big towns in Latvia, you know, and obviously Riga's the biggest area, then Ventspils is probably the second biggest area. So, you know, they're going to attract more people, and obviously they've got more local people as well that can come and watch the game. So, you know, it's a tight old league now, and you know, but every year it's still Skonto Riga are the favourites.
Would you be preparing the team any differently this time? You know, playing an international team, or is it still the same basic preparations?
No, it's the preparations are what me, Terry and Darren, we sat down and we wanted to work out a programme for what we needed to do, and obviously we all know what we need to do. We need to get a little bit of desire and commitment in and around the penalty area, so that somebody's going to have to get a cut eye to score a goal. Someone's going to have to do a clever bit of brilliance to get, you know, our strikers off the mark, as it were. So, you know, we've been doing some heavy goal mouth area practices where we're getting people to get across people and make runs, make double runs. You know, we've got to do more to get this goal. So we felt we could have training sessions where they could show us their desire, because that's what we're after. Played a game against Cardiff, which is behind closed doors, you know, so that's a match for the whole squad. Everyone will be playing in that at some stage, and then playing against Latvia for the whole squad, and that then will lead us into our cup final against Doncaster. So the boys that do the best against Cardiff and Latvia and look the most potent, then they'll be the ones we end up selecting for what is a very big game against Donny.
You mentioned a player needs to maybe get a cut eye to get a goal. You know, they've got to show that commitment. If you're practicing for that, I mean, do you not run the risk of getting extra injuries, or is that a risk?
Yeah, you do. But you know what if a lad is going in to score a goal thinking about whether he's going to get hurt, he's not your man. He's definitely not your man, because defenders know when someone's a bit weak or a bit scared, and the defender goes boo and you jump, he knows he's got you in his pocket for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So you've got to be effective, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be clever, and we're just trying to get that in our game. We've done all that on most of the pitch against most of the teams. It's just in that penalty area we've got to be that clever and more passionate and show that desire.
And you've got Fraser Fivey back now from Wigan with his injury cleared up. That will be a boost for the club.
But you're right, it is a boost for the simple reason that we know that he's a decent player. What we need to see now is, after his little spell out with his shoulder, we need to see if he's match fit now. So these 2 games again will give us that opportunity to see and make a decision on whether he's ready to start against Doncaster.
Have you got any other injury problems, or are we all fairly clear?
No, we're pretty clear. We're still keeping a very close eye on the Marek Steck situation, because you can't have your goalkeeper with his the hand and the arm that he uses the most, being right-handed, with any sort of worry, and we're going to have to keep an eye on that, and we'll know, because Marek will either tell us he's ready or not. In which case, if he's not, then we've got to be looking anyway to get another goalkeeper in, so that we've got at least 2 goalkeepers. So we'll have to wait and see. That's daily being assessed.
So he won't be taking any part in the 2 friendlies then?
Well, no, he won't be taking any part in the Cardiff one today. But we'll have to wait and see how he is in a couple of days' time.
A lot of speculation again about you having to go into the transfer market, which I know you can't do at this precise moment in time, but have you got any loans lined up? Anything moving on that score?
Well, nothing moving that we can say publicly yet. You'll have to just stick to the rumours at the moment that come out. Because there's lots of phone calls, lots of action, lots of talk with clubs, representatives, all that sort of thing. When the right one comes along and it's the right thing to do, then we'll do it, and we'll let the public know then. Up until then, everything is just a rumour.
Thanks, Gary.
No problem. Thank you.
Christmas lights tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll be meeting up to Father Christmas.
Yeah. Is he there?
I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Where's he going?
What'll be at the top of your Christmas list?
Is that where you thought he was going?
Yeah.
Well, the top of my Christmas list.
As long as you've been a good boy all year.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely been that.
Yeah.
So the big thing is going to be, picking up some points quickly. Now I know that's like the professional Christmas wish, because I just want this group of lads to realise that they're not far away, and we only need that extra little bit of. I think this is how I describe it. It's, and I'm sure some scientists may even tell me I'm wrong, but I think I've got the figures right. If you get water that's 211 degrees, that water's hot water. If it gets to 212, it's steam. And I think we're at 211 and not quite, and I've got to get them to 212, so that all of a sudden it becomes steam rather than hot water. Do you understand that?
No.
People as humble as you lot.
Yeah, yes. I get it.
And that sort of describes it. It's one of my things that I describe it with, and that's what we've got to find. That's what we've been talking about now. It's a good way to describe it.
With that, you kind of suggest that the players are getting a bit, not dejected, that's not the right word, but a bit...
Yeah, no, I don't, do you know what? We won't let them get dejected. We won't. And every day the strikers come in, they're as disappointed that they haven't got a goal, and in open play especially, and centre halves are disappointed that they haven't had enough headers from set plays, because we get a lot of set plays. So no, they know, but we got to make sure that they know they've got to do a little bit more, but at the same time we don't crucify them to make them so that they're not confident to get into goal scoring positions. Do you know what I mean? So there's a fine balance there a little bit, and sometimes you just have to leave it to them for their natural competitiveness to go and make something happen. You know, it's a horrible way to describe it, and but you can describe it if you ask them, you know, who's the one you most love, and if somebody kidnapped them and had a gun to their head and said, if you don't score today, he or she's going to get it. Do you think he would make dangerous runs? He would be brave. He would demand people give it to him in dangerous areas. He would throw himself at everything. Do you know what I mean? Now that sort of desire is what's needed. It's a horrible, you know.
Presumably that would be your last resort tactic, though.
Well, I was getting near that way. Do you know what I mean?
Then you'd have to drop Kev Dawson.
Why?
Well, because he'd have the gun with us there to get Paddy to do it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, gotcha. But listen, it tells that's every story, you know, every picture tells a story, and that's it. That's the attitude that you have to have sometimes when you haven't scored for a little while.
Yeah.